His Highness Veerendra Singh walked into his office and froze in horror. There was a naked woman on his desk. Why was there a naked woman on his desk? She looked familiar. For some reason, that eluded his befuddled mind. The woman stretched one arm above her head in a move that pushed her breasts up. She turned her head and smiled invitingly at him. "Who the hell are you?" Veer snapped. The smile slipped, and she frowned at him. "I'm your assistant." That's why she looked familiar, he realized. He didn't know why she sounded so offended, though. The last time he had seen her, she had been fully clothed. "Not anymore. You're fired," Veer snapped. He left the woman sputtering on the desk and walked out of the office in disgust. He ran up the wide carpeted staircase that led up to the first floor. As he walked down the corridor to his mother's suite, he tried to slow his breathing down. It wouldn't do to upset his mother just because he was furious with yet another assistant. He rapped on the double doors to her suite, and her clear voice invited him to enter. Veer pushed the doors open and walked in. His mother was sitting at a table, tapping away at her laptop. He kissed her cheek in greeting and threw himself into a large armchair by her bed. "Are you busy, Ma?" "Not really. I'm just going through some photos on Facebook from the dinner party that the Pataudis gave last week. Doesn't look like they missed me." She grumbled as she slammed the laptop shut. "Didn't they invite you?" "Of course they did. I just chose not to go. You know I hate that Bollywood crowd." "Well, you could hardly expect them to mourn your absence, Ma." "Why not?" Rani Ma asked, as if it was a very reasonable question. Veer floundered for an answer, and then saw the naughty glint in his mother's eye. As usual, she was teasing him. He rolled his eyes. He didn't have time to be teased, not with the Devgar fundraiser barely a month away. "Ma, I need a new assistant." Rani Ma sighed. "I just got you a new one. What happened to her?" Veer turned pink around the ears. "I'd rather not discuss it, Ma. Please get me another one." "How many assistants have you run through this week, Veer? Was this the third or the fourth?" "Fourth," he muttered. "What exactly do you do to them?" "Nothing. It's not my fault that you hire bimbos whose main aim in life is to seduce the Maharaja," he said indignantly. Rani Ma sighed again. "All right, I'll call the agency." "The agency is useless, Ma. Are you sure Mrs. Soonawala needs complete bed rest?" "Veer, the poor woman broke both her ankles. Of course she needs bed rest," snapped Rani Ma. Now it was Veer's turn to sigh. His PA, a middle-aged woman of excellent sense, had met with an accident, and personally Veer thought it very irresponsible of her to have broken her ankles so close to the fundraiser. But he could hardly say that aloud. "What if I get her a motorized wheelchair that she could buzz around in? I'm sure she's getting bored at home, Ma. Why don't you check with her?" "I'm doing nothing of the sort," said his mother firmly. "Fine, but tell them to send someone responsible and useful this time. If I find one more naked woman on my desk, I'll stab myself with a pencil," he snapped. There was a squeal from the door, and Veer winced at the sound. "Naked? Who's naked?" Veer glared at his sister Jessie, who threw herself on their mother's bed and stared at him gleefully. "None of your business," he said shortly. She pouted. "Come on, you can't not tell me." "Of course I can. Watch me," he said, and cringed at how childish that sounded. Even though he was 30, his sister had the gift of turning him back into a 14-year-old. "Ma, I have to know, who was naked?" "His new assistant," said Rani Ma with a grin. Jessie burst out laughing, and Veer was tempted to smother her with one of their mother's pillows. "Ma, would you mind too much if I killed this pest in her sleep?" "I would," replied Rani Ma firmly. "Are you sure? Think about how peaceful our lives would be without her braying laugh echoing through the palace," argued Veer.